Hey, yo, this is Sam Ant, and oh God, make sure you go check out our podcast, the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast, on radio.com. You've seen us on YouTube, over 800,000 subscribers strong. Now, if you want to listen to your brothers raw, real, uncut, and most importantly in full, go check us out on radio.com, where we bring you the latest news on all things hip hop, sports, relationships, politics, you name it, we cover it. The most dangerous podcast out to date, the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. Check us out 4 days a week on the radio.com app. Let's go. His content with the compensation of mere attention. What do you think about that?
Mere attention. I mean, a lot of people do it. You know, who else don't do it? Let's go down the line with any one of these, you know, and people they look at just the hip hop based sites that have YouTube channels, but you got some of them that don't have YouTube, do the exact same things. Your hip hop websites, your top ones, they all doing the same things, man. Like from World Star Hip Hop all the way down. So what's the difference?
Let me ask you a real question, right?
Yeah.
Put you on the spot. And this ain't no hate. This is a legit question because you've been doing this for a while. I've been doing this for a while, but we've been watching the content for a lot longer, right? Have you ever heard a solid Vlad interview? And I'm not talking about a great body of work where he just really dealt in the conversation. I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about him checking on the motherfucker's rap sheet and us listening to the dirty laundry. Have you ever heard one? Are there any out there in your opinion?
It may be. I haven't really dig deep into the content like that to really see. I'm sure there are. You'll probably I mean,
which ones are you more inclined to click on? If you were to click on, and I'm not saying you're clicking on them and all that shit, but if you see one and it grabs your attention, 9 times out of 10, what's in that?
I mean, it just depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it depends. You know, maybe if it was a current event, something happened. Let's just say, for example, Dame Dash responds to Jay-Z or something like that. He's on there because he was on there in the past. I'll be more inclined to hear, you know, something like that on there. I'm not really into, how much kilos a guy sold or how many bodies he hid under the house and he ain't telling nobody. Or now you can talk about it because the statute of limitations up. I ain't into that, and I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying it's like somebody showing you who they are. You got to believe him. Vlad showed you what type of the way he's going to come at the hip hop game, and he makes no bones about it, just like these other platforms, and they do it. So yeah, man. I mean, to sum it all up, I don't want to see Lord Jamar and Royce the 5'9" beefing. I don't think there's a beef there. I think you got two great lyricists. Lord Jamar, being a great lyricist during his time, probably still can do his thing. Yeah.
But should be regarded as one of the greatest rappers and one of the greatest rap groups all ever. Royce the 5'9", one of the greatest lyricists that we've seen, and is underrated and underappreciated and should be more respected. Just look at the source. And I'm not saying that, hey, maybe Lord Jamar has no problem answering them questions. Maybe he'll answer them questions all day. I'm not going to put, like you said, the blame on Vlad, but I put an eye on that motherfucker. Yeah,
but I mean, Lord Jamar, in closing, he's this is what he's doing now. Like he ain't gonna put no music out. So I don't know how people talk about an Eminem diss or whatever like that. All he's gonna do is gonna talk on Vlad's couch at this point and talk about current events, talk about Eminem, talk about whatever. This is what he's been, at least the last 4 or 5 years I've seen him doing. So it's none of it's real surprising, man.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I can dig it.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, man, tune into the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast with your brother, Old God and SamAnt. We're going in today on this Thursday. We want everybody listening, if you're enjoying the content, to please go ahead and hit that 5-star rating and leave a comment below if you're loving what you're listening to. We've been getting a lot of real good feedback. So, if you got a minute, please go ahead and just leave that comment. We definitely appreciate it. I want to turn our attention over here, SamAnt, because Pusha T, man, has launched a new initiative, SamAnt, to help free people who are currently serving life in prison under the 3 strikes drug law. Now, we know that Pusha is from Virginia, and again, it's called 3 Strikes Coming Home, and he announced it on Twitter, and he put, this is way more than a song, it's a movement. We are doing everything in our power to bring home men and women trapped behind the wall due to an updated 3 strikes law. Now, he has joined up with 2 different lawyers, and so far they have freed over 40 people that have been sentenced to life in prison under federal drug laws. And it goes working with Kim Kardashian, and some of them, I guess they got something going together with them. So how do you feel about this? Obviously, a lot of people are getting into, politics by way of trying to free people from prison. how you feel about Pusha T enacting change in his home state of Virginia?
Yeah, I was going to ask you real quick before I went on. Is this exclusively in Virginia? And you just answered that for me. I love it, man. And here's why. Pusha T, let's make no bones about it. He promotes dope music. He raps about it. He makes no bones about it. He does his thing. He still does it, still raps about it. I love him for it. Love it.
Yeah.
It's a certain place for that music, and that shit's needed, and he's lyrical and it's dope. But he isn't just out here doing it and watching things and chaos happen around him and just turning a blind eye to it. He is one of the fortunate that was in the game due to survival, got out of that game, and was able to have a successful life and sustain successful life and bring on life after that in a situation, in an environment where 9 times out of 10 that doesn't happen. So for him to put his money and his energy to pay that forward and get some of them people who he potentially may have sat around and really just was out in the streets doing this thing with, an opportunity to get home where there was no opportunity in sight, maybe 5, 10, a year ago for some of these brothers. It's a great thing. It should be highlighted. I'm glad that you brought it up because I didn't see it anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And salute to Pusha T for doing this initiative and doing this kind of thing. What do you think?
No, I think it's dope. And for people who are interested in this, they can check out the website, which is 3strikecampaign.com. Once again, 3strikecampaign.com. If you want more information, he also has put $25,000 of his own money up to put behind this, and he's asking other people if you want to, to also, donate. I think it's a great thing. I mean, who wouldn't want to come home? And then, talk about the 3 strikes and, the federal guidelines. We just talked about, New York decriminalizing weed. So, a lot of things are happening in this country when people come together and they start putting their money behind things besides buying the purses and the Versace. When they start putting their money, to some real things and galvanizing people. I think it's a great thing, man. Anytime I see a story like this, we like to highlight things like this, even though these are the stories that are not going to get you big views or anything. We got to put this type of energy, out there because it's dope. And ultimately type of things that we would like to get involved in at some point. You know what I mean? Different things like that.
And we were talking about last week when the whole, the Jay-Z conversation was hot and heavy. What can we do? And this is a prime example of, no, you don't have to be a billionaire to go ahead and take what you've been given, the blessing that you've been giving and paying it forward. He did it in Virginia. Yeah. That means something. Yep. To do it at home, to give it to the people that look at you and understand the streets that you walk on, that stores that you went into, the jail that you sitting up in. They understand that, and that absolutely means something. We need to, like you said, we're setting an example from it. Out here busting shots. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's killing dead like a mug out
busting
here.
Shots and shit. Wow. But yeah, man, paying it forward. It's an inspiration. We got a lot of things that we all could do locally in our community. I know you and I have a very keen eye on a couple of things, both together and individually. And it's just an inspiring thing to watch brothers who we grew up really enjoying their music, but understanding the content in which they were talking about to do great things. Now, man, salute.
Definitely, man. Definitely.